jump out at you about Ohio State and why they've been able to have the season they've had so far?
Well, I think Chris Holtman's done a great job with them. When you look at just their quality of play, they don't beat themselves. They're strong across the board, whether it be shooting the ball well, getting the foul line, rebounding. They're just a solid, and they're excellent defensively. Their defensive space is really good. And Caleb Wesson is really a strong center. He can pass, he can score. For a freshman, I'm really impressed with him. And Keita Bates-Diop is playing a level above. He looks like an NBA player. I remember that kid when he was 15, and he looks like his dad now. He looks like a different being. So they've got, and then you still got those guys in there that are really set. You've got C.J. Jackson and Jason Tate is who I'm thinking of. Really do a good job too.
I saw a stat where in all of their wins this season, they've averaged over a point per possession. In all their losses, they've been under a point. Is there a bigger emphasis you can put than on-ball defense and just half-court defense than this game?
Well, I mean, it's just what you do all the time. I don't know that you can say, hey, if I promise you we'll win, if we do this. But we know that when we hold a team under a point of possession, we win almost 85% of our games. So it doesn't surprise me that they'd struggle like that. They don't struggle scoring like we do, so we can still win without scoring a point of possession, I think. But you've got to do a good job, because what they're best at is their offense after a play, or the play after a play. They shoot, offensive rebound, and then it's on. And they've got a lot of length and a lot of physicality with themselves too.
Holtman didn't take over till June.
Yeah.
For them to be 8-0 in the league, and he didn't take the job till June.
It's just remarkable to me that they've been able to. The buy-in factor is so good. Chris and his staff have done, and we know those guys, of course, well. Michael was on that staff before, and Chris does such a good job, and the buy-in from the players is so good. You can just see it. They're just all in, and Thad left them. It's not necessarily an empty cupboard there. So I think that what you have to commend Chris is he's a rock solid, really good coach, but be able to come in and connect with those guys in such a quick amount of time is really impressive.
Michael had the scout.
Michael's got the scout, almost to a fault.
We're like,
Mike, don't tell everything. No, I think it's awesome. It'll be a fun game. I know it'll be fun for Michael, and we're looking forward to it.
Given the importance of this game, with your preparation, but also knowing you have another game on the road 2 days later, you're not even going to come back.
Yeah.
How have you handled these last few days? Are you trying to get Rutgers stuff in, or is it all Ohio State?
All Ohio State, but we're still working on our fundamentals, which will apply to Rutgers. We're trying to become a better blockout team, which is going to be vital for them. We're trying to be a better ball handling team, because you can't go on the road, turn it over X amount of times. I think that was our thing last year, is we turned it over a whole bunch there, especially when we had the lead late. I think we had like 4 straight turnovers with like a 6-7 point lead or whatever it was. So, some ball handling stuff, some rebounding stuff, which of course should project to, getting ready for Rutgers. But at the same time, it's just what we need to do better.
You kind of approach this like you're going to play in a tournament, just being on the road for that long and kind of getting the guys.
I guess I hadn't thought of it that way. As I go on the road, it just kind of reminds me of the old days, only we're in a bus instead of in a plane. Or a 15-passenger van, those were great days. They were great. It was just a pain in the butt. But yeah. So I just kind of look at it like, it's a quirk in the scheduling, and we'll be ready to go.
We've talked a lot about you guys' rebounding. Are you doing different drills you talked about fundamentals? Are there things you could work on that?
Yeah, we are doing some different fundamentals. But I still am of the mindset that, defensive rebounding especially is a decision. Yeah. Like if you and I went out and played 2-on-2 against Anton and Isaac right now, and that shot goes up, I promise we're going to block out, out of fear. And so, that's a decision. And so we've just got to get those habits, I think, ingrained back in their heads. And I haven't done a good enough job, obviously. But at the same time, we're getting beat sometimes on offensive rebounds from a certain area, like a perimeter run in from the corner. So we're trying to make them more aware of that and drilling that out a little more too, showing them more tape about it. So, and our transition decisions were much better against Michigan than they had been in the last 5 games. I think we were almost a point and a half of possession with only 1 turnover, and that was more like it. Anything else? You're easy.
Thank you.
Bring it home, guys.